anytime.
And people will obviously be joining us any second. Some people having a trouble with. Oh, Lisa is with us. Thank you, Lisa.
Good day,
And
everybody.
you look very fresh. It's what, 3 o'clock in the morning in US?
Oh, actually, I'm on the East Coast, so it's 8 a.m. But thank you.
Very civilized. Very
Absolutely.
civilized. And then we've got a Joe actually joining us from Florida as well. So you're not the only American on the call.
All right. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, recording has started. As you know, we always start on time. We do know that some people will be joining us slightly late. Some are running from the meeting to meeting. But because we always finish in 60 minutes, I am going to start. So I'll start with update from myself. I'm just pulling things up so I can see what I'm talking about as well. Here we go. Okay. And I've got screen here. Okay. Georgia online as well. Lovely. We've got around the world crowd, obviously. Thanks, Diaz, for being with us. Update from me. There's a lot of happening in your association at the moment. A lot. I'll start with the big caliber things. On the 9th of January in Houston, BIMCO, together with other shipping industry members, including ourselves, are organizing drag seminar. The idea is to get collaboration as much as possible on, unfortunate trouble and problem we've got with drugs around the world. We will be addressing several issues. You will be seeing material and links for the meeting. It is in person. It might also be online, and it is definitely devoted for the Americans. And when I say Americans, I mean the Central America, South America, North America. 9th of January. Then 18th of January, most probably, I would say 99%, it will be our AGM in London. I am just waiting for IMO to confirm something for us, because we would like to have it hosted in London in IMO. And I'm in IMO on next Monday, 13th, when I will be hopefully striking a deal. And then I will be in a position 2 months in advance, provide members with details of our AGM. We have been requested to move the 60-minute meetings from 1300 UK time to earlier to accommodate people from Asia. Now, we do have conundrum. We've got Americans, and then we've got obviously Singapore, Hong Kong. As you can see today, we've got very few people from Asia. Karen is from Philippines all the way, and it's quite late there. We do have Americans from Florida, but we would not have anybody from West Coast. Now, I've done statistics. Oh, Alex is with us, for example. Now I can see you. Hello, Alex. Moving 2 hours earlier, we might lose even Alex and all our Florida ladies and gentlemen. No, Alex, you okay with 2 hours early? Oh, wow. Because
yeah, absolutely.
Alex is, thank you. Alex is always with us. And I would hate to lose Alex and anybody else from US. Vancouver people might struggle big style unless we move it 4 or 5 hours and we catch them in the evening. But by moving this at least 2 hours earlier, we would scoop Singapore, Hong Kong, and allow Manila to be in a better time zone. So I see Alex nodding her head. Thank you very much. Joe, I don't see your face, but I believe you would be okay with that as well, because you are sitting next door to Alex. You both guys are from Florida.
No objections from me, Cuba.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Motion's taken and approved. And we are moving on with this. Now, I have sent a message to all of you regarding security and understanding the term of ship manager. I had absolutely no response from you, which might be good news or it might be bad news. Could you please check your emails again? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, drop me a line and I will resend it to you. The idea is that Europeans are trying to understand ship managers the way they understood ship managers in context of EU ETS, using the same definition. And that's not necessarily best for us. However, since you are not responding to it, I am assuming then you are okay. Then there is no intervention required from us, your association, your lobbyists. So please double check security message from me 2 weeks ago asking, what do you think? I have also sent you a message asking very kindly, what wakes you up or what wakes your engineers up in the middle of the night? What are the issues your technical superintendents, your chief engineers are not happy with? What shall we do for them? What shall we start thinking of making your engineering staff happier? I have received only 1 or 2 responses, which makes me think either they are far too busy, most probably, or there is nothing wrong with engineering side. But I can come up with 20 immediately myself. Alex is laughing already. I can see the smile on Alex's face. So Alex, don't shy away. Tell us, because your business is dealing with our problems all the time. So please email me what you are coming across. What is your job list? Because these are the things which basically would make you unemployed if the naval architects actually thought it through properly. Then there would be no need for aftermath and support and help. But that would be really good for us if we could work on it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got very busy week next week. I am in London attending IMO meeting. So are our members. We are represented there on the first IMO ILO meeting, discussing well-being of the seafarers. I know that some of our members will be there in audience, but we will also have our members speaking. And I'm delighted that we have been co-organizers of this meeting. On Tuesday, I have been invited to speak with IMAREST, where InterManager and IMAREST actually work very, very, very closely in Human Element Industry Group, where we are tackling lifeboat and closed space, falls and trips accidents. Speaking about those accidents, I'm delighted to tell you that our InterManager now hosts statistics. We are a host of international shipping safety statistics, and they are available on our website. I will be sending link when I will be sending a link to this recording of this meeting. Therefore, please share that with your HSEQ departments, share it with other people. These are the statistics which we are very pleased to have, although I shouldn't say use the word please probably, because they are terrible statistics showing our industry safety. InterManager is working very closely with Vista Belgium and Belgian government on Honors in Diversity, which will be organized in Belgium, Brussels, on the 8th of March. I have not sent you message yet because we will have a meeting tomorrow, the organizing committee, and then I will have a final, hopefully, draft, and I will be able to send it over to you. Basically, we are waiting for the nominations for the companies which believe that they either know somebody who is doing a superb job and needs to be awarded, or maybe they regard themselves as doing absolutely outstanding job, leaders in diversity and inclusion, and therefore should be rewarded. And the final thing, there will be a workshop in Brussels in December, and I will resend a message to all of you asking for attendance. And I know that some of you have already expressed your willingness to attend. That's all from me. It took me 9 minutes, so it's longer than I expected, to be perfectly honest. But I don't know whether we've got Mark on a call. Mark, I don't see you. Let me just go and see the list of people I have. No, therefore I have covered for Mark as well, I suppose. I would like to open the floor. I've been talking for 10 minutes now. Any questions, anything you would like to add or ask? Then I'm happy to take questions, please. Nope. Thank you. Therefore, I can now invite our members and very kind speakers of today, Lisa and Gerd. And I believe, Lisa, I need to share your screen or try to do that yourself. You are muted still, yeah?
Yep, let me try. And while we're doing that, I'll say thanks very much for the opportunity to be here with my good colleagues, Gerd Schneider and Bob Goldring. Let's see. Should be loading.
Yeah, we can see that you are loading. It's gray at the moment. I hold my breath. Something is happening.
All right. Can you see it in?
Not yet. I see the circle. Oh, okay. Steve says that he sees, so it might be my man call. Oh, here we go. I see it as well. Okay, I'll go mute now. So Lisa, floor yours.
Okay. Can you see it in full screen view? Does it? Okay, great. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're really pleased to be here, and I'll give you a really quick overview of SGS if you're not familiar with who we are and what we do. We're 145 years old and the world's leading testing, inspection, and certification company, TIC. So we're a third-party tester with almost 100,000 employees, 2,650 offices and labs around the world, and 5 focus areas. Ours is industries and environment. And with this big company, we can have a global reach, but with local expertise. And last year, given the urgency of the climate crisis, I started including this slide in every presentation I give, no matter what it's about, because this is top of mind for all of us, right? And it seems a good idea just to mention what our company is doing. It's similar to everybody else's companies, but we reduce the consumption of energy where we can and use green energy where possible. Almost all of our electricity is from renewables, and compensate any residual CO2 with offsets. And this is in line with our sustainability ambitions for 2030. And last year, we're happy to say that SGS was the first testing inspection company to post an integrated annual report, so including our financial and sustainability information. So over to the topic at hand, crew well-being. What is it? We all think about it often. We can partition it into various pieces. One is the living environment, food, water, recreation, the working environment, including safety, healthcare, conditions during working, and then psychological health. And we've heard a lot about that following the pandemic. But really, crew well-being is all of those things, the intersection of those sectors, and all of them should be considered together. Often they're considered differently. So all of them encompass crew well-being. If we think about the regulation and laws that protect seafarers, we know at a global level, there's international law, and this governs the behavior of nations, and it's in the form of treaties and conventions. And of course, here, the most important one is the Maritime Labor Convention. And then at a more regional, local, national level, we have domestic laws, which govern the behavior of people, including the ships under its flag. And these are enacted via laws and regulations. And if countries are parties to these treaties, the local laws should mirror the international agreements. But we know that while the MLC is intended to create a level playing field, there's variable levels of implementation and adequacy of implementation. We also know that the regulations are mandatory, but they tend not to be prescriptive. So if we look at the MLC, it talks about food and drinking water needing to be suitable with respect to quality and things like that, but there's not a lot of details there. Likewise, if we look at the Ship Guide to Sanitation through the World Health Organization, we see guidance on drinking water, talking about sampling being performed by well-trained professionals and certified labs and internationally accepted standards, but not super prescriptive. So all of these things can lead to imperfect implementation and disparities across the industry. So one example of that is deficiencies and detentions we see in MOUs. Here it is from Paris in 2022. And I don't know if you can see the text there, but there's hundreds of deficiencies ranging from cold room problems down to insulation and dozens of detainable deficiencies. So this is a problem, right? We all know that. We also know that us people are the main cause of accidents at sea. And if we have better working conditions, this is the key to preventing accidents. So enter SGS Crew Wellbeing Monitor Program. This is one of many, I'm sure, that are intended to help increase crew conditions for everybody. Again, reminding you that SGS is a big company and we have a global reach, including in our corner of it, the Marine Field Services and Monitoring. We do this work in over 300 ports around the world. We do general environmental testing and this new crew well-being program, which is in a few locations now and being rolled out continually in other locations. So what is it? It's a voluntary inspection program. I want to stress that. It has over 100 points, and we developed this checklist with port state control guidance. So it's not a certification. It provides multiple benefits to the crew and the ship owner by helping to increase the working conditions and crew care, and helping to provide business continuity by potentially avoiding port state control deficiencies or detentions. This is something that could be included in ESG reporting, the S of ESG, right? We know that recruitment is tough these days, and having a crew well-being program instituted across a fleet could be a potential recruiting tool for seafarers. And then if drinking water testing is combined with this, there's a potential to reduce plastic. Instead of using disposable plastic bottles, this is replaced by drinking water on board that is tested and the crew knows that it's safe to drink. And then we offer a SGS, we call it SGS mark. I'll show you in a couple slides what that looks like. So there's an award, if you will, for that by having the mark for participating companies. So why do we need a third-party inspection? So our inspectors provide a snapshot of the ship's operations. And I should say that these slides have a lot of text on them, and I'll provide them to Cuba after in case people are interested and want to read more carefully. I'm just going through the highlights here. So that SGS inspector helps the superintendent see what's going on and helps prioritize areas that potentially need to be improved. You know the adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So certainly more cost effective to be involved in this volunteer program and find out from SGS that, oh, these are things that you might want to improve, rather than hear that from port state control during an MLC inspection. And it also helps crews to be prepared for eventual PSC inspections by going through the checkpoints that we'll ask, that a port state control inspector may eventually ask as well. And it gives owners social license, showing that they're interested in and actively working to improve crew conditions, reduces risks, for example, ESG reporting, and it shows that management is taking care of the crew, respecting, recognizing, prioritizing crew well-being. So what do? We're on board for 2 to 4 hours, and this is done twice a year. I was on the first inspection and we were on board for 2 hours. We look at over 100 checkpoints, and the first thing we do is we sat down with the captain and the chief engineer and reviewed documentation, the MLC certificate, the sewage certificate. And we had sent an email in advance of our visit and said, these are the things we're going to be looking for. So they were prepared. We sat down, looked through binders, very easy, checked them off, and then took a tour of all of the places where the crew go, accommodation, galley, the hospital, and looked at each of those places for, the situation and how things were, how the conditions were, if there was food on the floor in the cold room, for example, the sanitary facilities, the accommodation, the recreational areas. And then afterwards, we sat down with the master and told him what we found, and he was very open to hear our positive feedback and constructive feedback. And then a couple of weeks later, sent a final report to the master. And if this has so far been a pilot program, and if ships are engaged in this and they do 2 inspections, they'll get the SGS mark. So the reports have a list of the inspection points, so the ship and the ship management knows what was done, and includes areas that we suggest changes in. Not all inspection points may be carried out at every inspection, just based on time availability. Everybody's busy, we get it. Notably, our report doesn't oblige anybody to do anything, but it's encouraged, and it helps to point out areas of improvement. And while on board, we could potentially do additional testing for water, drinking water, indoor air quality. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. This is a quick COVID swipe test, as it were, noise measurements, COVID-19 testing, whatever's needed. And here's an example of the SGS mark. It has a QR code, so this could be displayed in the galley or a place like that, so everybody knows that this is an ongoing program. And then it's possible to have an annual report ranking the inspections across all of the ships in the fleet. And then feedback. So we've done some pilot studies. The crew is supportive and appreciative and interested in what we had to hear. Thought it was useful to help management know what might need to be upgraded. It was a good reminder that, day-to-day activities might overlook some of the things that are really important to the crew. And they found it useful to support in compliance to a potential PSC inspection. So thanks very much. I think I made the time limit, Cuba, and happy to take any questions either now or later. Our contact information is there. Thanks so much.
Lisa, you exceeded my expectations, because I was afraid it will take you 15 minutes. You did it in 11. Wow, very good. Thank you. And it's not only quantity, but quality. So I really appreciate it, because I would really like the floor to be given to members. I did receive some questions while you were speaking, so I've got some questions. How busy are you with your inspections now? That was one question. And the other one was, could you tell us which areas of the world are being the busiest now for you?
That's a good question. Well, broadly, I'll say, toward the end of the year, we get busy because a lot of ships are trying to do annual testing, largely to the EPA vessel general permit. So the last 3 months tend to be busy. So we're busy, not too busy for new business or additional business, I'll assure everybody. Where are we busiest in the world? Oh boy, that's a good question. I'd have to look at our global database to know for sure. I'll say in general, our busiest areas of the world tend to be North America, in Houston, lots of jobs in Asia, in Singapore. Yeah, those are our biggest hubs, but maybe Gerd or Bob want to chime in there, and I see Alex has a comment too.
Alex, yes, please.
Yes, when it comes to the well-being inspections, this is really, really interesting. How many of those have taken place since the launch of the program, Lisa?
Yeah, just a couple.
Okay.
And we do not have any company that has yet been enrolled so that they've gotten the SGS mark. So somebody on this call could be the first, or one of their clients could be the first. Yeah, so it's a pilot. It's been a pilot so far, but like I said, I was on the first one and it went really smoothly, and yeah, really interesting to be engaged in that. And the ship was really interested in knowing what we had to say. So it was a good experience. Yeah.
No, congratulations. It's a really important program.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
And not seeing other hands, I've got another question here.
Sure.
Water quality, because you've been doing those, not necessarily on this pilot scheme, but you have been testing the waters on board of the ships and everything. Yeah. In general, do you see any problems? Would you say that 50% of the inspections you do pick up some trouble with water, or would you say it's only 1% or 2%?
Yeah.
Potable water, obviously. I'm talking about it.
Yeah. Yep. So we do that according to WHO standards and other flag state requirements. And I see Gerd has his hand up, so I'll let him answer, and then I can finish. Gerd, go
yes,
ahead.
it's just from all over the time that we are doing this already, like 10,000s of times, and we were just discussing a week ago latest trends that we see. As one example is that that in this year especially, we have seen one trend that to the normal parameters we see requested, or let's say recommended by the ship sanitation guidelines from the WHO, we see that more and more clients were asking to add the Legionella as a standard parameter. And we were doing this before, but only on request of certain national tough, let's say, flag requirements. But now we see more and more trend of those that don't have this flag requirements to add this to the list. This is one thing. But then in general, Cuba, I could say, if we are going to the environmental program regarding ballast water, for example, we see a great, let's say, compliance rate overall in the shipping industry. Still, also in drinking water. I mean, we are not giving any limits there yet. So there is just guidelines that allow you a lot of different methods that allow you that just giving out recommendations as can be given by the WHO. I think coming to limits, we need to have national bodies to take the responsibility to apply these stricter regulations. But again, we haven't seen real big problems in the routine yearly monitoring. Of course, there is one trend, and this is logic by every shipping guy. The older the vessel, and depending on the region it is sailing, the more problems you might have with biofilms or growth in the old pipes and tanks and so on. But we're never watching that this is happening into a very serious threat to the crew. So this is in general a good result, I think, overall. I was thinking about something else, but I forgot it. Maybe it comes back to my mind, then I jump in again.
So if I may, Lisa, if I may, 1 second, because I love statistics, and I know that a lot of people draw a lot of things from the statistics. Are you planning, or maybe have you already done, publicizing statistics, showing what are the trends, as you were saying now, what do we see over the years? And this would also be a pretty good marketing for you guys, showing that A, you do that, but also B, you're an expert on that. But we could actually see a lot, even the statistics on port state control deficiencies in this particular area would be very interesting to see. That's my question. Lisa.
Yep. And to answer your question first, we have a paper on ballast water commissioning testing that I can share with you, a little bit unrelated, but the same idea of compliance over time. Your question is very timely, because Ursi, who's joined us on the call, and I have been talking about writing a paper about this kind of deficiencies, and we're also interested in, definitely getting that word out there and analyzing the data. So that's on our mind. So thanks for that prompt, and that'll be a good way to help us move forward. And just to piggyback on Gerd's answer, I've been with SGS 5 years. 3 of it was the pandemic, right? So my experience isn't very normal, if you will. But it seems to me that there's been an uptick in Legionella cases being found. After ships been in layup, like Gerd said, we get more requests for Legionella, and occasionally we find it. And you don't want that on your ship, right? So if you're looking for drinking water, you should be looking at drinking water. You should be testing that all the time, no matter who does that, SGS or somebody else, I think. Yeah.
Very good point.
So
Excellent.
thanks.
But that's, you see, those statistics, your articles would prompt those things. Lisa, I would love to have a dialogue even off this meeting, and if we could have it, because
Perfect.
I think InterManager, we do have our sources where we are speaking up, and that's what we do on behalf of our members. But also we've got a lot of journalists who love to hear from us, and I think we could definitely help you with some reach out.
Wonderful.
Basically to others, and it would help us as well. So, and you are our member, so I can see win-win-win. Okay,
Perfect. I'll make a
anybody
note to
else?
follow
Any
up.
comments? Any comments, please? Any questions? Gerd,
Yes,
your hand, or is it
Kuba.
a heritage hand?
I just wanted to add to this this comment about the commissioning testing. It is a very, very good example of what you can do with the statistics. And here we had a very short period of time and thousands of vessels doing the same, installing and commissioning ballast water treatment systems. And what we could see over this short period in 1 year, 1.5 years, that the compliance rate just from experiences went from 30% non-compliance in 1 year to 6% non-compliance. So there was a very, very steep learning curve in the on the ship owner sides. You know, that means like cleaning filters, cleaning tanks, doing what you can, and then immediately the compliance rates went up. So this was a very nice example with a real good statistical number that was reflected also to the society, of course. And one thing again, coming back to the COVID period, this was also, of course, a very significant thing that happened, that after many cruise vessels were just standing, were just, you know, sitting in the on anchorage somewhere, and all these systems were on board were not running for a long time. And suddenly, when they were starting, we were you know, we saw piles of requests for can you test my water in the air conditioning system? Can you test boiler water? Can you test this and that we usually didn't had before as a regular request. So obviously there was something happening. It's like, you know, if you don't drive your car, you can expect some problems after a month. So these things are made to operate and to work and to run. And this was also a very good experience to see what happens, what problems you might run into. This was just the additional things to show what statistic can bring to you in a short term.
Very good, thank you. Okay.
Thanks again.
Well, Lisa and Gerd, thank you very, very much. Really good stuff. And I really encourage everybody on a call to think, well, get in touch if you've got anything from your company you would like to share with other members. And obviously, Lisa, I would really like to receive your presentations. I will include it. It will take me probably an hour and a half now to upload a recording. So you've got an hour and a half. You can have a coffee now. But then please send it over to me and I will send it back, because a lot of people, our members, are actually watching it and sharing this recording with the teams later on. So that's how it works.
Excellent.
Once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being with us so early.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Moving on back to the InterManager issues, I'm opening the floor. If there is anything, I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to use us as much as possible. I hope you can vouch that we've got a pretty good record. Whenever you ask us a question, our secretariat immediately attends to your needs, whatever needs they might be. You may need contacts, you may need lobby, you may need us to take care of things. Then please, please, please. I am saying that I'm unemployed, sort of, okay? It's not true, but we know how to delegate. We've got very good contacts. And basically, InterManager is the network of very willing members. So don't shy away, use us, use each other, because that's what we do. That's all from me, which means 26 minutes ahead of the time. We love that. But joking aside, if there is no other comments, questions, then stand by, because I will hopefully send a message regarding 60-minute meetings well in advance, because that's the request, not to send them only a week in advance, but send them longer. I do know what will be happening on the 21st of December. That's the IMAREST who wants to have a chat with all of us. But then I'm trying to populate before that, and I've got several candidates, but those candidates are sitting on a wall and not making their mind in a way saying, okay, Kuba, book me in. So I am now working very, very hard to populate all Thursdays, every second Thursday, so we can meet. Next meeting will be 11 o'clock UK time to accommodate our Asian friends and colleagues. So that's all from me. Big thank you for attending. And Alex, I'm switching off the recording, okay? Thank you,
Good
everyone.
stuff.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.